Good afternoon, friends. A lovely spring day, at least here in Ontario where I live. I hope it is where you are. And again, another Maitreya channeling from Word of Gord. This one I feel is particularly challenging and relevant to a number of energy streams in modern society, and I think you'll recognize why I say that right off the bat. And it poses a number of interesting conundrums for the seeker, the earnest seeker, or the committed seeker. And as always, Maitreya is a master at compressing a number of profound thoughts into a very small space. This was channeled a couple of years ago on June the 13th. And it's called On Slavery and Joy. The underground trade in enslaved humanity has increasingly come to light in the last decade. The media is filled with reports and commentary, and concerned citizens lament the plight of those caught in such tragic circumstances. Investigation will reveal that the ancient habits of such hardened traders in profitable misery have been inadvertently accelerated by the inexorable movement toward the global economy that is an expression of the one world concept that the plan of evolution has deemed a necessary stage on the road to full participation in what has been called the Galactic Federation. The more fluid borders of this new internationalism has facilitated the growth of this regrettable and intolerable development. And the huge profits generated ease the necessary bribing of officials, high and low. Needless to say, the Dark Brothers opposing the plan of man's emancipation from matter and the belief systems which entrain his fascination with fantasies of ultimate control are thrilled to have yet another series of psychic anchors restraining the soul's flight from the fearful density and anxious darkness of the physical plane's launching pad. The lusts, desires, and hopelessness generated by the trafficking in human slaves joins with the almost identical energies of war, economic and political greed, substance abuse, and gambling in holding man's soul beneath the waters of addiction, thus preventing his breathing in the joys of realized divinity that are now more readily available to him than ever before. Such joys are derived from the intuitive understanding that not only one's immortality is guaranteed regardless of ethnicity or religion, but that the trials and tribulations of earth life are but the noisy illusions necessary to generate the reactions and ambitions which build the completeness of character that the soul has envisioned before the commencement of the incarnational exercise. This joy can be expressed at any point in one's journey, including all those stages where enlightenment appears an unattainable prize reserved for the rare hero. And we masters would encourage your leap of bravery in shouting it out, for its vibrations are intrinsic to the raising of the planetary vibration, which in itself will help to gradually release those addicted to the traffic and slavery from their perceived needs. This, of course, is not to suggest that international law enforcement should in any way be loosened or neglected. Criminals deserve, and indeed desire, to be brought to justice, and the oppressed deserve the freedom that the blessings and challenges of an ordinary life present to the rest of you. By all means engage in this crusade if your heart so bids. But understand that the embrace of the joy that divinity delivers to your door, and its cheerful, undiluted expression, as the whooping of children in careless play opens more portals for that energetic expression on the physical plane than most of you would ever dare to imagine. Join us and the angels, nature spirits, and the happy dead of the paradise worlds as we celebrate our effortless immortality and play in the cosmic infinities spilling out of divinity's pockets. Join us gladly. Be a butterfly of joy in the heart of the city. Feel the weight lighten on slavery's shoulders. Exercise the above in trust rather than trepidation, and know that the immediate universe will follow your lead, for it can do no other. The incarnate human soul is more the organizer and director of cosmic energy flows than most of you would ever dare to imagine. Misuse of these powers in the distant past of the planet's history should not deter you from taking up those reins once again. You have all paid the karmic penalties in those dark ages of psychic, economic, and political slavery to the various repressive elites, and no longer need to cower in the shadows of their power or your fear. Rise up off your knees, assume your inner divinity, and join us in the joy of its expression. Cheerfully yours, Maitreya. Well, a lovely, incisive, profound message, I think you'll agree. And it is the last one in this collection, a collection called Jesus and the Christ, from which I've been reading these past few months. And when I got to the end of it in June 2006, I believe, I thought, yes, this is the last one of this group of messages. Perhaps it was the cheerfully yours, Maitreya, that gave me the nod. There are others in the earlier part of the book that I will read later, particularly those outlining the relationship of Maitreya to Jesus, which I think really needs to be talked about. And we'll get to that in the upcoming weeks. And I still have a couple of minutes here, but I don't feel that I should be cluttering this lovely message with any more chatter from Word of Gord. So, blessings and love and joy to you all in this time of apparent global economic crisis. I say apparent because it feels to me like it's temporary. And although I do feel great sympathy for those suffering deprivations much more than I do feel that we will pass through this to the other side, where a global economy will be based on helping and cooperation rather than competition and greed. I believe one can even feel this in the politicians' and business leaders' remarks now. Anyway, goodbye to you all for now.